For those who haven't seen our programs with elementary age students, they're a little bit different. We say, if you can follow the costume, you can follow the plot. So essentially, instead of having one child play Alice, one person play the Cheshire Cat, we end up with like 16 Alices and like 10 Cheshire Cats. We essentially do scene by scene casting, but it allows all of the children, especially within those early developmental years, to have lines. We get to spread out all of the different solos. We really try to maximize their stage time.
Greetings from Columbia, Maryland, where we are recording Razzle Dazzle Radio, the show brought to you by Howard Community College. I'm Carolyn Kelemen, and I'm here with my co-host, Judy Templeton. And today's show is going to take us to that wonderful place where we can jump up and sing and dance and pour out our emotions through the theater. It's going to be a summer fun Razzle Dazzle show. So, Judy, take it away with the man about town, Mark Beachy, who knows just about everything there is to know about theater.
He does, doesn't he? Thank you. I'm honored, Mark, for you to join us because you are. I love Carolyn's man about town. And I've known you from when you were a boy about town. Golly, you've been in the business a long time. So let's just talk about your colorful past into your more colorful present and your continuing future in theater, the arts, and more. So I remember meeting you oh so long ago. So let's talk about your beginnings. I believe it was with Mo Dutter, our former host.
Yeah, it began with the Drama Learning Center.
Okay.
Where I was the music man in the Music Man. And then in high school with Mo Dutter, he is certainly an inspiration. He's still an inspiration today. And of course, Carolyn Kelemen and Judy Templeton. Wow, I just see you wherever I go, you're there. Because we're always around seeing the great theater in Maryland. And I didn't know if you knew this, but in January, I went to see the shows in London and Paris.
Well, really, you're more than a man about town. You're more about a man about the world now. So, but let's talk about your beginnings in theater, because I think that's always so fun to hear.
Oh, gosh. I mean, it was such a long time ago. And it really all started when I was in elementary school. And I was so shy that I would get sick and I couldn't go to school sometimes. I would just make myself sick. I was so nervous. And then I took, in the summer, a drama class at the Drama Learning Center, and that changed everything for me. That I was no longer this shy person. It gave me such confidence to go out from off the stage into the real world with the confidence. So I'm very grateful for theater every day because it's made me who I am.
Well, then from being a student, you became a teacher and a director. So talk to us about that part.
Well, in 1997, I won the Channel 2 and Pumpkin Theater playwriting contest with my musical Bout Baltimore. And from there, I wrote musicals for 3 years for Pumpkin Theater. And then I started my own theater called the Baltimore Children's Theater.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do remember that really well. And so how long did that go on for?
I did that for 10 years.
Wow, okay.
And I would produce about 14 shows a year. That would count the main stage as well as the drama class versions of the shows.
Well, that's quite a confidence builder that you had from theater to go from being sick to your stomach to, becoming a director. But you didn't stop there. Okay, so then what was the next step?
So then I think that's just one of the things with my personality. Once I complete a project, I'm ready for that next challenge. And so the next challenge, right? So we all relate that the next challenge for me was I really wanted to help promote theater across Maryland and Washington, D.C. I wanted to really help spread the word about all the wonderful things that are going on. And so I started the Maryland Theater Guide. And although I'm no longer running it today because I moved on to other projects, I made sure that somebody else would continue the Maryland Theater Guide. So it's still going very, very strong today.
Right.
Okay, so to your point, so now after you start something and you make it big, you go to the next thing. So next, you really switched gears. So tell us about your latest adventures with a new language.
Okay, so very quickly, I always felt bad that I didn't have a college degree. And so that was my next challenge. And I was like, well, what am I going to major in college? I didn't want to major in theater because I was worried that I would be that know-it-all. I would be like, oh, I've done so much more than this teacher and stuff like that. And so I didn't want to bring that side out of me. And so I decided to learn something that I knew nothing about. So I'm looking down the list. Chinese. Okay, I'll major in Chinese. So
why not?
Why not? And then after that, I'm like, okay, next challenge. So I, for my master's, majored in TESOL for teaching English to speakers for other languages. And now, beginning in the fall, I'm going to be starting a doctoral program, language literacy and culture at UMBC.
Wow. I can't wait to see what you're going to do next and how you're going to mix all that up. See, I think there's ways you could put that all together for sure, too.
Well, I am. It is going to include theater. Of course, it's going to include theater. So I'm going to be on the cutting edge of research for something called culturally responsive drama in the ESL classroom. So I will be developing new research and new ways to present how to incorporate a person's culture in teaching them how to learn English.
Wow, you are right on the cutting edge. I want to apply for a job with you to do that. I'm going to send you my resume, okay, Mark? You are so amazing. And I just love it because you are so inspiring of how people can continue to recreate themselves. And let's just face it, people in the arts, we're all ADD. And I call it a gift for sure, because it allows us to live out all of our dreams and passions. And we just will. We have to. And you are such a great example of that. Well, let's meet our other guests and then find out how we can put this all together. So, Gerald, I know that everybody out there isn't going to be able to see that great, amazing, contagious smile you have. But when you smile, you really light up the room, and I really want to keep it in my memory all day. And so I'm super excited to sort of hear about your beginnings in theater. And now we'll talk about where you are with the Columbia Center for Theatrical Arts. And I'm excited about some of those changes. But let's talk about your colorful past. So how did you get into theater?
Absolutely. So I actually started back when I was in high school. I was in the public school system. I had been in private school for many, many years. And when I switched to HCPSS, they told me I needed an arts elective. And so I ended up taking a theater class and coincidentally ended up being taught by Sue Miller, who is Toby Orenstein's sister. And so she was my introduction to theater, and it really just kind of caught me then. And so I started dabbling in the high school shows and everything like that. And things just kind of took off from there. When I went off to college, I went to Hofstra University, and I was actually a political science major, which is very theatrical in nature. And so and so when I came back to Maryland, I actually ran into my old teacher, who was the one that introduced me to CCTA, and I've been here ever since. I had the honor of being able to work with a lot of different students, and just seeing them, blossom and really obtain confidence and other things, really caught me. And, it was something where, kind of like Mark, I found my confidence, I found my voice within, the confines of theater, and seeing that also be passed along to, our future generations and everything is priceless. It's what I do with my entire being.
Absolutely. I think that's pretty much being in the arts, right? And that's why I always say the arts save us when all else leaves us. So, but also you had some other things happen in that job as well now, didn't you? Like, didn't you meet someone special?
Yes, yeah, it's how I met my wife. So I'm married to Bryn, who's our programs educations director now at CCTA. But Bryn was also a student of CCTA's when she was very, very young, and has performed in various like Broadway shows and everything. I'm actually sitting right next to our 1-year-old right now, who's
another addition that happened because of all this. Exactly.
Yes, absolutely. And so theater has provided me more than I could ever be thankful for. You know, it's one of those things where it's just opened up so many doors, both in my career, but also, just my personal life. So it's irreplaceable as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Well, so look, I have to know, because I think that we are looking at the beginnings of a new building for Toby, and a shout out to Toby for perseverance and whatever. So give us a scoop. What do you know? How soon?
Yeah. Absolutely. So they actually just had their groundbreaking ceremony last Tuesday. And so it's about a 3-year build, which we're very excited about. It's happening in phases. So the Toby's Dinner Theater will receive a new theater essentially as part of the build. And they're going to open probably within like a year and a half.
Yay! Okay.
Which is very exciting. And Toby's will remain open while they're building and everything, so they won't really miss a beat. But then later on, once the project is completed, CCTA will have a home again, which they haven't had a home in over 40 years.
Right, you've been gypsies all over.
Yes,
I love it.
Yeah, you can find us everywhere. If there's 4 walls and a ceiling, a classroom we have. So within the building, there will be different classrooms, dance studio, a black box theater, which will allow us to really diversify the programming that we have, offer more classes, and really accommodate the demand that we have kind of at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be thrilled about that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It is one of those things where, you find as you work with the students, you always leave them. They're always wanting more. And, they want various experiences and they want different kinds of classes. And this will make it a little bit easier for us to facilitate and match some of those needs, which is great. And it'll benefit, not only our conservatory classes, but also our outreach programs that we do for students with like special needs as well. It'll be significantly easier to increase that programming since we're not always like scrapping and searching for space.
And we've just heard of a great program that might fit in there, Mark.
Absolutely.
I could see your program fitting in very nicely in there as well.
Absolutely. I'll be glad to help.
Definitely.
That's the way we like to work on this program. We like the network. So I had heard that Columbia's Center for Theatrical Arts would be doing a camp this summer at Slayton House. Is that true?
That's right. Yes.
So this is big.
Yeah.
Because they used to have, Slayton House always had Camp of the Arts for a long time, which, was part of Toby's years ago when it all began and whatever. So, so tell us about that. I know that people are wanting to find ways to get their kids entertained for the summer. So talk to us about that camp.
Definitely. So it's a 2-week program for children from ages 6 to 12. This summer, we're going to be producing Alice in Wonderland Jr., which is a classic tale. And so the way our camp is essentially formatted, we break the children up into groups, and we're constantly engaged in different workshops while also working on the show in itself. And for those who haven't seen our programs with elementary age students, they're a little bit different. We say, if you can follow the costume, you can follow the plot. So essentially, instead of having one child play Alice, one person play the Cheshire Cat, so on and so forth, we end up with like 16 Alices and like 10 Cheshire Cats. We essentially do scene by scene casting. That way,
wow, that's a lot of work.
It is. It's an organized chaos. But it allows all of the children, especially within those early developmental years, to have lines. We get to spread out all of the different solos. It actually lessens the burden of how much they need to memorize, and also gives them the opportunity to be within the different ensemble numbers as well. So we really try to maximize their stage time because we feel they learn the most once they're, on stage and actively performing. But it's a wonderful program. We finish the show always within the first week. So we put it up in about 5 days, and then they have their performances on the Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week.
That's a fast turnaround.
It is.
And what else can we expect to see this summer, too? Isn't there another play that is done elsewhere as well?
Yes. So we have 2 other camps that we do. Both are at HCC. And so we have our junior intensive, which is also a 2-week program. They're going to be producing Something Rotten Junior. That one's more traditionally cast. You are who you're playing kind of throughout. But again, we try to maximize how much the students can be on stage. And that program's designed for middle school age students from about 11 to 14. And then we have a regional premiere that we're doing with our senior intensive. We're going to be producing The Prince of Egypt. So that one's new. It's new to the area. We're very excited about it. The rights just became available within the past few months or so. And so that show is already cast. That one's a 3-week program, but we have about 60 high schoolers that are going to be taking that one on.
That is amazing. So if someone wants to sign up, how do they do that?
They would go right to our website. It's just cctarts.org. Right on there, you'll see direct links to all of our summer camps. We still have space available in our Rising Stars program and our junior intensive, but they do tend to go on a wait list relatively soon. I think we're just a couple weeks out from being on a wait list for both. Yeah, I know last year we produced with our junior intensive Footloose, and we had about 65 performers in that show alone, and a rather sizable wait list. So it fills up pretty quickly.
Yep. Okay. Get on it right now if you're interested. All right. So now I'm going to talk to both of you as actors and as directors. So I'll go back to you, Mark. So tell me, what was your favorite show that you were ever in?
That's easy. That was the musical Sugar at Centennial High School. And I was Sir Osgood Fielding.
Yep, I do recall that. Yep, I was actually in that, not the same one, but I was in that show too. So years ago, that's how I met Mo. So, and then Mark, what is your favorite show to direct?
My most favorite show to direct would be my adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, which is called Alice's Dream.
Okay. And that's another side of you too. I mean, you are the quintessential Renaissance man. I mean, you do it all. But so you kind of rewrote that, is what you're talking about then.
That's right. So I have 6 musicals published, all children's musicals: Alice's Dream, About Baltimore, Rapunzel and the Enchanted Garden, Red Riding Hood and the Forest of Secrets. The list goes on and on of children's musicals that I wrote the play, the music, and the lyrics.
Sure. Do we have to get royalties for those?
Yes.
Gerald might want to direct one of them. I'm just saying. So
maybe they are available.
See? Oh, let's go to you, Gerald, and find out, what was your favorite play to actually act in?
Sure. So just a couple years ago, I had the honor of being a part of Rocky the Musical over at Toby's Dinner Theater. I got to play Apollo Creed, and it was a very unique experience because you get to mix a little bit of boxing along with, the stage elements. But it was just such a phenomenal it was such a phenomenal experience. I really had a great time.
Well, actually, I saw that, and I'm going to do a big shout out to Mark Minnick always, because I did not understand how they would ever have brought that to Theater in the Round, or how any of it would happen. I just couldn't, and it was amazing. And I know Patrick as well. So you guys were a great combination. It was a fabulous show, really was. So lucky you that you got to experience that for sure. So then what's your favorite show to direct?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You can say a couple. I'll let you.
Well, so last summer, our senior intensive, we took on Titanic, the musical, with about 55 high school kids. And, we really like to push them and everything. And so I think that was probably one of my favorite shows to work on, just because of the amount of characters, all of the storylines, and how they converge, and watching all of the students really bring all those different characters to life. And I know we had a really great time with it.
You like challenges, don't you?
Yeah, we don't take the easy route.
No, not at all. And I regret that I did not see it, because I heard it was wonderful. And of course, I absolutely love that show. So, wow. So here's my next question then. Okay. We like to talk about, we've heard a little bit about your colorful past and what is happening now. So what's for the future? Now, I know that, Mark, you told us a little bit. So where do you want to take this next place that you're going? Are you going to get another PhD too? Or are you going to be, who knows? Tell us what you got, because I know you got something on Hit Parade there.
Well, this doctoral program at UMBC will keep me busy for at least the next 4 years. And like I said, I begin in the fall, but I'm preparing now. So this month, I've already taught a couple workshops for teachers on culturally responsive teaching.
Wow, nice. We have to get you in over at HCC and come teach a workshop. That would be wonderful.
I would love that. And of course, everybody is welcome to join the workshops. It's all free, and it's for everybody that wants to learn about culturally responsive teaching.
And how would we get in touch with you? Do you have a website that we could contact?
I don't have a website, but I am the adult education chair for Maryland TESOL. And so you can just go to mdtesol.com, and you can find all the information about the workshops that I'll be teaching.
And spell out TESOL, just so that we make sure we've got that right.
TESOL. So mdtesol.com, and I am the adult education chair for all of Maryland.
Right. Okay. Like ESOL, except TESOL.
Exactly. So teaching. Yeah.
Yes, got it. Oh my gosh. Well, again, I know after that 4-year program's over and whatever, that you're going to have to come back and tell us what you're doing next, because I know it's just going to be a continuum. And you, like I say, I love being around you, because you inspire that we can always recreate ourselves. And, I'm positive you've never had a boring moment in your life. And I'm pretty clear you're not going to have one coming up. So just keep on doing what you love what you do, and do what you love. It works. It looks good on you, Mark.
Well, thank you. I just always have to be doing something new and something challenging. Once I get bored, I'm off to the next project.
I definitely understand. I'm right there with you. So, Gerald, what are you thinking about for the future? And of course, with the new building and all coming up, that's probably part of the plan, but what?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a few things coming. We're actually about to go up with all of our different spring productions here. We've got about 8 different productions of Jeannie B. Jones at various elementary schools. Our middle schools are producing The Lion King, and then our young Columbians this May will be doing Sweeney Todd over at HCC.
Wow.
We get down May 23rd and 24th. But other than that, our young Columbians were chosen to perform for Arts for Autism in New York. Again, we had the honor of going 2 years ago. They were invited back. They were one of 7 groups. So they'll be traveling to New York for 4 days, and they get to work with different Broadway performers and directors, choreographers. So we do that later in June. So that's my immediate future at the very least. But aside from that, we're going to continue to try and impact the youth in any way that we can. We have various programs and everything that are coming up this next year that we're very excited about. We are anxiously awaiting the opening of the cultural center. So kind of between now and then, we are just, I want to say business as usual, but it's always something new. So, it's
Absolutely. Well, we're all anxiously and patiently waiting for sure. And thank you for reminding me of all the programs. I mean, there's so many programs for sure. And what I love too is that you offer some of the old plays, some of the traditional old plays that still take my heart. But there's all new theater coming out, and students and kids today want to do some of that as well. So you do
Absolutely.
a really fine mixture of putting that all together. So we're going to have to wrap here in a second, but I will say to you, Mark, because I heard you say that you were in Music Man, and I'm hoping we're going to still get to Toby's to see it. We had some tickets, but had to pass, but we're going to still try because I would love to sit with you and see it since you have been the Music Man. And if you don't know that, get over to Toby's because it is running now. And right after that is going to be The Little Mermaid. So you want to get some tickets on that. So please check out Columbia Center for Theatrical Arts. It evidently has programs for young to old, and Gerald will kindly give you information about that. Mark, I love following you, and I got to keep up with you because you change quick. So just keep being you. You do it so well.
I want to give a quick shout out to Caroline Bowman, who's a former CCTA student, and she's in Smash the musical on Broadway.
Yep. Oh, yep. We have students everywhere. After they get trained here, they go off to great places. Thank you so much, Gerald. Thank you so much, Mark, for being part of Razzle Dazzle Radio. And until next time, Razzle Dazzle.